Hey guys, Daniel here, and I want to see if it's worth upgrading to the 12-35 Mark II. And I've told you guys that I've got or owned the Mark I for quite some time now, probably over a year and a half or two. I think it's closer to 2 years. But a buddy of mine actually bought the Mark II, and I've got to borrow it and I got to try it out. So I took it out for a spin, and I've got both a Mark I and a Mark II on this day. In the beginning of the video, I'll be mostly showing Mark I, and then I'll be showing Mark II afterwards. And at the end, I'll be mixing it back and forth to see if you guys see a difference. Now, first off, the differences externally is basically the finish and a little bit better weatherproof on the Mark II. And since I got my Mark I for a while, the focus ring is a little bit rough, and of course the Mark II is much smoother. So it's a much better experience while you're rack focusing, especially when you want to do slow motion, where you can't autofocus on that mode. So if you do a lot of slow motion work, the Mark II is much better because of the smoother focus ring. And throughout this day, I didn't want to use a gimbal. I just want to use handheld to see mainly the stabilization between these two of the dual IS and the dual IS2. Now, moving on to the image quality, it's pretty much the same. I can't really tell a difference between these two. There are videos that point out the little tiny differences between these two lenses, but I just want to focus on the consumer's level. Where is it overall the better choice to upgrade, or even just pick Mark II over the Mark I? So when I first used the Mark II, I didn't really feel like I had an upgrade. I mean, the rubber zoom still feels the same, the focal length is obviously the same, and the quality, I could barely tell a difference, or no difference at all. Like I said before, one of them is the smoother focus ring, and the stabilization. It's debatable. It's very small and minimal, but overall it does feel a little bit better, but I don't think it's enough for me to upgrade to a Mark II just to get a little bit better of image stabilization. I know throughout this footage I'm hiking, I'm walking on uneven roads and climbing on top of rocks, and it's not the best example of image stabilization, but you can kind of see it here and there when I'm walking normally on flat surface. But then again, like I said before, I don't see huge difference. Overall, this is one of my favorite lenses. It's mostly for a lot of serious work that I do. So in my opinion, of being a 12-35 user for the past, I don't know, 2 years or so, if you're on a budget, definitely go for the Mark I. If you don't have a budget and you still want the lens, go for the Mark II. But if you really want the image stabilization, the little bit better image stabilization and a smoother focus ring, then definitely the Mark II. So you guys would know my answer by now. For me, I don't think it's worth the upgrade. I also don't think it's worth selling my Mark I and use the rest of the money and save up for the Mark II. Unless my Mark I breaks, then I'll consider buying the Mark II, just because I like the smoother focus ring when I'm doing slow motion work on variable frame rates. Now, these are just my opinion. It may differ from yours or from your perspective or what you need. So the rest of the video is a bunch of shots from the Mark I and the Mark II, cutting from back to back, and see if you guys can see the difference, and hopefully let you judge and see if it's worth the upgrade or buy the Mark I over the Mark II. So thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you guys later.